My brain is slowly becoming filled with nothing but random facts about ancient Egypt, and slowly, yours will too. I want to show you some more interesting discoveries about our ancient pyramids. Yeah, they're gigantic stone structures, but what else? During ancient Egyptian times, pharaohs lived in an era where economic prosperity and stability were at an all-time high, and people believed that these kings were chosen by the gods themselves to speak as their mediators on earth. With the help of this belief, the citizens wanted to keep up this idea even when the pharaohs passed on, since they had believed that when they died, that their soul, their Ka, was still trapped in their body. What his followers would do is then mummify his body and was placed with whatever could assist him in the afterlife. This could be treasures, food, boats, even to help him fly into the heavens. Anything that was placed within these tombs would also help their relatives when they passed on. Two fun facts though. Before the pyramids, there were tombs called mastabas, which were flat-roofed and rectangular in structure, which quite a few of them have been found around and beneath the pyramids, to which I will get into. And the reason for the shape of the pyramids is to mimic the rays of the sun, making it easier for ascension, as well as they would reach for the sky. They pretty much wanted to get ambitious with their resting places. Not only are the ancient pyramids riddled with tunnels and caves within themselves, but also beneath the structures as well. These secret tunnels are located beneath the pyramids of Giza, but are heavily occupied by bats and venomous spiders. The first recordings of the underground tunnels was done by a previous explorer by the name of Henry Salt in 1817. He states that he and his associate Giovanni had explored several hundred yards of these tunnels, and eventually came across 4 large chambers that revealed even more passageways. British explorer Andrew Collins and Nigel Skinner Simpson decided to take a look for themselves, coming across what Salt had described as well as an unrecorded tomb just west of the Great Pyramid. However, it seems that they had to stop their adventures there. As Collins stated, "We explored the caves before the air became too thin to continue. They are highly dangerous, with unseen pits and hollows, colonies of bats and venomous spiders." They both speculate that this gave an insight to the Egyptians' belief in the underworld. Collin continues, "Ancient funerary texts clearly allude to the existence of a subterranean world in the vicinity of the Giza pyramids. It also helps the fact that Giza is in ancient times was also known as Wastau, meaning mouth of the passages." Remember when I mentioned how boats would be buried with them? Well, back in 1954, an archaeologist by the name of Kamal el-Malak accidentally stumbled upon 3 carefully dug pits while attempting to clear away some rubble right outside the Great Pyramid of Giza. This was Khufu's grand solar ship, which was built to mimic the sun god Ra's boat that traveled across the sky every day. It was buried in a place where it would be easily accessible for Khufu's spirit to access it and join Ra on in his afterlife journey. The intriguing thing about this though was that this boat was found in 1,224 pieces, and researchers basically had to rebuild the structure from scratch. But the ship wasn't built to include oars or sails, but there were traces of ancient water beneath it, making researchers wonder if he had actually used this when he was alive. It's speculated that there wouldn't be any need for sails or oars anyway when traveling in the sky, but could have also meant that servants were the ones pulling it up on the shore. But because of it being buried like the rest of his treasures, we're going with the idea that it was meant to be taken with him when he passed on. We're gonna travel just a couple yards away from the pyramids because recently a so-called underground anomaly was found. The researchers didn't even need to dig it up, since they used a ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography. What came back to them was the discovery of a weird L-shaped shallow structure, and its entrance was supposedly filled with sand after it was created. It measures roughly 33 feet long and 6.5 feet deep, which makes scientists lean toward the fact that there is the possibility of more ancient remains, bringing out another discovery of an ancient mastabas. These types of tombs were very common around the Great Pyramids, and they wouldn't be surprised if this was just another discovery of one. Right now, it's still being explored to find out whether this anomaly could be simply filled with more sand or an empty space containing something fantastic. Right now, there's a total of 118 pyramids that exist. One pyramid in particular, called the Bent Pyramid, that is roughly 4,600 years old, has been open to the public to be explored. This pyramid was built for the pharaoh Sneferu around 26,000 BC, but his actual burial site is unknown, and it's extremely popular because instead of the classic straight sides, it's got a bit of a curve towards the end, hence the name. Because of this pyramid now being open, we're getting a lot of interesting videos being posted online from these adventurers. One comes from Speared in Stone on YouTube, who discovers a peculiar looking white stone towards the bottom of the pyramid. He first noticed a locked door that had a major hole in it, probably from past looters. He goes in and first notices a giant pit covered with floorboards, but then pans the camera to the right, showcasing a mysterious white block. From the video, it does look extremely interesting as to why it's there. Was it an extra block that never got placed? A resting spot? This feature in the Bent Pyramid does not get talked about enough. There is a weird, unknown structure in the pyramid called the chimney. This so-called chimney is located just next to the second chamber that's roughly below the first chamber. Its placement lines up perfectly with the apex of the pyramid, meaning, just the absolute tip of it, and its top half just slightly pokes up from beneath the ground. Researchers still haven't the slightest idea as to what it could be for, but I'm also wondering if it's just an unfinished section of the pyramid that could possibly connect itself to the first chamber. The article from Graham Hancock believes this as well, because just below the second chamber is one of the entrances to the pyramid itself that has its own ladder to enter. What they're theorizing is that you could also put a ladder in the chimney that also connects to the pit below it, to allow you to slide the ladder in easily, and you would climb up to the top of it, reaching the closed off first chamber. But also, the chimney could have been used to whomever was situated within the second chamber to have access for climbing towards ascension. Both are still really cool theories. A secret backdoor for the Great Pyramid of Giza? Hell yeah. There was another recent discovery of what's known as the well shaft, an incredibly scary drop with no light whatsoever, where it connects from the bottom of the Grand Gallery to the bedrock at the bottom of the pyramid before descending even further down below. Researchers have no idea if this thing was built before or after the pyramids were constructed. However, because of the style it was cut, they're suggesting that it started from far beneath the ground, where it stops, and as the pyramid began to grow taller, so did the well shaft alongside it. Or someone really wanted to sneak their way into the pyramid without being noticed from the outside, which also isn't a bad idea. They're also stating that someone needed to know about this prior to everything being finished, because it doesn't make sense as to why the finished area of the well shaft lined up perfectly to the horizontal axis of the Queen's chambers and the very bottom of the Grand Gallery. There's so much speculation on it, you really gotta go check it out. One more point for the gals, because in 2021, an old kingdom queen was discovered in a funerary temple just next to the pyramid of King Teti, that also revealed a couple more artifacts, such as 50 wooden sarcophagi and a 13-long Book of the Dead scroll. A quick rundown of the Book of the Dead scroll. It's a papyrus scroll that gives the deceased a guide on how to navigate the afterlife, and a couple of cheat notes as well on how to get past certain tests given by the gods. These caskets date back to around 1570 to 1069 BC, but because there was no name stated in the pyramid itself, it took a while for them to discover who this diva was. Etched onto the wall in the temple where she was discovered was the name Nart, and was also written on a felled obelisk near the burial's entrance. If you aren't well versed in ancient Egyptian history like I am, a lot of these might have surprised you as they have for me. My favorite is the well shaft. Which one was yours? If you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up and comment your thoughts down below. I will see you all in the next video. Stay creepy.
Want to see more videos like this one? You absolutely can't miss what's coming up next. We've got a video on rare Bigfoot sightings that will blow your mind and are guaranteed to make you a believer. Seriously, this is the stuff that will have you questioning everything. Click the video right now. Don't even wait a second longer. These are some of the most compelling, chilling, and downright unbelievable sightings and actual footage we have ever laid our eyes on. We're talking evidence so convincing, you'll be sharing it with everyone you know. Don't miss out on this exclusive look. See you in the next video.